My name's Nina Christian. I'm a marketer in Melbourne, Australia, and I help people to build a powerful and connected brand, whether it's for their personal brand or their business, through content. And that's primarily organic content and a lot of elements to that. But the main ones, you can break it down into high caliber content and thought leadership, a powerful and connected brand, and of course, all the systems at the back end that actually make that happen. And that's kind of the doozy one where a lot of people get stuck. So I spend a lot of time focusing on that because it's made a whole lot of difference to my world and the people that I work with as well. Why now? And so give you some really practical tips around why now and what the short-term benefits are going to be. And so we're going to look at why not in 6 months or why not even in 3 months, why now, why being known for something is important and what the process is likely to look like if you're actually going to embark on that, and the difference between building a brand organically and paid and how those differentiate, but why it's just a rite of passage. You need to start building your brand organically, and this is why. And I'm also going to look at 3 benefits that you will experience in the short term as you start to build out your brand, because I think it goes without saying, all the long-term ones, and if you're watching this, I'm guessing I'm preaching to the converted here in the sense that you probably see the need to build a brand or want to build a brand or want to market yourself better or want to market your business better, and understand that content marketing is not just a thing, it is the thing now when it comes to marketing. And when I say content marketing, is basically helpful, useful, valuable information or material or something that you share with someone that's helpful to their life or business in some way. So it can be entertaining, can be informative, can be educational, and the most powerful type of content being transformational. So that is the type, and why this is so powerful is that is the type of content, the way that most people want to engage with brands. And these days it's like an express path into their hearts, their minds, and their wallets. So you want to actually have a very, very clear strategy around that, because even though a lot of people know that, they know, oh yes, content marketing is the thing, it's not all about sales. It's about content, but they get really, really, really stuck when they sit down to think, okay, so what am I going to put out? So that's the kind of thing that I talk about a lot, talking about brand. And now, why is the best time to build your brand organically and what that will do for you right now? So if you're anyone marketing anything, you are trying to communicate something with your audience, and your audience is receiving, when I say multiple, that doesn't cut the mustard. They are receiving, I can't even say hundreds or thousands, they are receiving tens of thousands of messages every single day from so many different sources, and their brains are in overload. And the brain is designed to filter out anything that it doesn't think it needs. It's really interesting like that. About why now is the time. It's not about doing something in addition to a whole lot of other things that you should be trying to do. A lot of other opportunities aren't working like they used to anymore. And big brands are finding that, small brands are finding that out the hard way. So there's basically 2 paths that you can take to try and get in front of people. You can pay and you can buy that attention in some respects, or you can earn that attention in some respects. And the thing is, though, these days, even if you pay for it, even if you've got deep pockets and a large, sizable marketing budget, which most small businesses face it, and definitely personal brands do not have, that route is largely unavailable for financial reasons. But secondly, it's becoming less and less effective for brand building. So it's becoming more and more content focused, even on the paid side, where like a lot of the major platforms like Facebook, like Instagram, less LinkedIn. LinkedIn is still really, really good for organic reach, as are some of the other platforms like TikTok, and Instagram Reels is getting really, really good organic reach at the moment. But a lot of the other ones are starting to move towards a pay-to-play model. And that doesn't mean it's just advertising. It actually means paying to get your really, really cool, good, valuable content out. But when you're just starting out, you probably don't want to be paying to get that out. And so what you need to do is have content that's so good that people want to consume it. And the thing is, so here, this is where I come full circle and talk about why now is the time to be doing this. Nobody starts out building a brand knowing exactly what to do, exactly what to say, exactly who they're talking to, exactly what their next steps are supposed to be. It is like trial and error right in the fledgling stages when you are just getting started. And so I just want to encourage you that that is completely normal. But the only antidote to that, the only way to get over that is actually to start doing it and to actually start experimenting. And if you're unsure where to start, I want to tell you. So there's like this thing called sweet spot. And so if you're whether you're a personal brand or a business, and I'm making an assumption here that I'm mostly talking to people who are business owners or have some sort of business or freelance or side hustle, or they're building something or they want to, or they're very aggressively building a personal brand because they understand the power that comes with that and the benefits that it will bring. With either of those scenarios, you need to consider these three core things. They're kind of four, but main three. Okay. One is what you're really passionate about. All right. The second one is what you're really good at. What's your area of expertise? And you want to marry those two things, because if you're really good at something, but you just don't care about it, like if you're really good at data and analytics and Excel spreadsheets, but you really don't care about it, then it's going to be hard for you to get excited and enthusiastic about it. On the other hand, you might be so passionate about a particular area. Look, I'm not even going to put a name on it, but you might be really passionate about it and you aspire to do it. I see it with marketers all the time. They want to be brand manager for an international fashion house. Fabulous. You got the passion, down pat, good on you. But you don't necessarily have the expertise and confidence enough to win trust and respect and authority there yet. Okay, so the thing is, you've got to find the balance of what you've got expertise on and what you're passionate about. And then there's a third thing, which kind of leads to a fourth thing. The third thing is what's in demand in the marketplace at the moment. Just to pluck an example out of the air, say you were promoting or marketing a product that was all about hosting big events and office parties, and everything revolved around the physical connection between people, and you completely couldn't do that anymore. So you might be passionate about it, you might have expertise around it, but the demand for that isn't going to be there. And so you want to think about, well, when you're overlaying your passion and your expertise, how can that tap into and fit into a desire or a need or a demand in the marketplace? Because that is going to then have a pull effect on what it is that you are wanting to say. And now, as a little tandem to that, it's a thing of what people are prepared to pay for. So you could potentially bucket that with demand, because if there's enough demand, people will be prepared to pay for it. But I've also seen firsthand in many experiences where there are things that there is legitimate demand, but people want something, but they're legitimately not prepared to pay for a particular product or service or offering. For some reason, there is just an overwhelming amount of resistance, or they've been trained to receive it for free, or there are multiple low-cost offers out there, and so making that financially viable isn't an option for you. So there's all of those things to consider, and it's going to depend very much on at what stage of your business journey you're in. So if you're further along and you have an idea of who you are and what you're known for and how you're showing up, etc., then that whole thing of demand and people paying for it becomes has greater weight, because you've gone all in on that thing and you are really building something. Conversely, if you're right at the beginning of your journey, don't worry about whether people are going to pay for something or not, because you've got to cut your teeth. You got to get your training wheels on. You got to just get out there and start doing stuff, because there is a process that you, like every single person who's gone before you and who's going alongside you and who's coming after you is going to have to go through. And that is the process of finding what the expression of themselves is going to be in this online and personal brand arena and digital business and social networking and things like that, because that's not going away anytime soon. It's very, very rare when someone knows exactly what they want to be positioned as and known for right out of the gates, especially when they are constantly evolving for a start. And the second thing is when they are multi-talented and multifaceted. It's really hard to kind of box oneself in, but at the same time, there's a necessary process to go through and think, well, how do I get known for something if I'm wanting to build something of substance, a personal brand, or even if you're a business owner and that's connected to your business, what are you bringing to that around your thought leadership? I mean, if you're just sharing the same thing as everybody else, how does that make you different? How does that make you better? How does that make you more valuable to people? So there is this thing of this intersection between what you love, what's in demand, what you're good at, and what people are prepared to pay for. And your whole journey online of starting to put things out there is going to be like, it's almost like a peeling away of things, and you're going to see what works and what doesn't, and what lands and what feels good. And then suddenly you pluck up the courage to publish something and it goes off and you go, wow, this is amazing, I'm going to do more of it. And then all the other times you put your heart and soul into things and you might put them out there and they fall flat, and you have to think, well, that's okay, this is part of the process. The important thing in that process is to know what to do with that data, to see it not as failure, but to see it now as new information that you have to work with. And that's when it's really helpful to be part of a community or have somebody who knows the ropes, who's been there, who's done that, to guide you and help you through that process, to help you avoid a lot of those pitfalls that otherwise can be major time suckers, money suckers, energy suckers, focus suckers, and just can really leave you feeling depleted. So having a sense of understanding around, well, that didn't work, but that's okay, and this is what we're going to do next, is hugely valuable. Having this commitment and understanding to the process is something that is going to serve you well, because what that's going to do is it's going to help you not be so hard on yourself from the get-go that everything has to be perfect. It's going to help you think that experimenting is okay, trying new things is okay, finding my voice is a process, and I'm not less qualified to talk about things because I'm newer at this. This is just the process that everyone has to go through. So at the moment, now is a really, really good time to be doing this, and I'll tell you why. There are a few things why. Number one, the technology is much easier, makes it much easier to deliver your knowledge and to tap into tools that are going to help you spread your message further and wider and quicker than ever before. And that's a double-edged sword, because by the same token, you have more channels to get yourself out to market. So look at this, for example. I can sit here in my office and hop on a live stream and simultaneously stream to as many platforms that I would like to. And that's great. But it also means that there's a need for me to be delivering substantial value in that content to get it cut through. Because in the same token, these tools are available to everybody. So you taking advantage of it is good, because if you don't, other people will. And just because you think it's crowded already and that your voice, you don't really have anything much to add to the conversation, it's your job to find what conversation needs to be had around your area of expertise and passion, and then tapping that into demand and what people are. That's your job, to be like a detective, and that pays massive dividends, because the result is that when you do have something to say, you are not a cookie cutter mimic copying somebody else. You actually have something of substance to say that's come from you, going through the process. So these technology tools are just a means to an end. They are just there to help you spread the message, but they aren't the thing. But the thing is, other people will be on them and utilizing them, refining their voice, crafting their message. So you should get into it too, because the technology will make it easier for you. Like if your bugbear is that you don't look great on camera, whatever, A, you'll get over it, and B, there's filters. If you're concerned about audio, there's super easy ways. You can do it with a phone. You don't have to have all the fancy equipment. You don't need a studio or anything like that. I don't have anything fancy from what I'm doing, and yet I just still show up and do my thing. Technology makes it much easier to deliver something, and so that is one reason. The second reason is it's way more affordable to start. So there are so many more resources available to help you, places to go that can give you support, even communities. Like just one, for example, would be my free community, the Content Connection, where content creators can come and they can ask questions, they can post their stuff, they can get support, they can get encouragement, they can get cheerleading, things like that. They didn't exist 5 years ago, and so there are people around who will have your back as you go through this process, and I encourage you to take advantage of that and take advantage of the fact that you don't have to have a lot of money to start this. You don't even have to have a lot of time, but what you do need is commitment. And so the third reason that it's really, really super important to start now is that globally, people are searching more. People are searching for answers. People are searching for people who can help them. They're searching on search engines. They're searching on social media. They're searching through user-generated content and looking at what other people are getting value out of and taking that on board as they make their purchasing decisions and investigate that. And so people are looking for people who are legit, who've gone the distance and who have something to offer, and they're actually searching. That is especially true if you have an area of skill or expertise that is very, very unique. It's like things that I didn't even think would be a thing, like just so niche, they're ridiculous. Like someone who's super skilled, passionate around painting a type of door handle knob cover thingies. Like I didn't even know something like that existed, much less that someone could build a thriving business out of it. And yes, they have. And actually, I've seen multiple people do things like that, because if you can teach somebody something that's going to give them a shortcut to what they ultimately want to do, then you are being so valuable to them. They will hunt you down. They will find you. They will connect with you. And you don't have to be world's foremost specialist in something to be able to help someone. You just need to be a couple of steps ahead of someone. For example, one of the young marketers in my Launch Marketing Career Group, who's also part of my Higher End Thought Leadership Accelerator program, is doing amazing things. And he's literally a couple of years out of university. But the thing is that he is so big into investing into himself and self-development that he's been able to literally turbocharge his growth for what would, I honestly believe, take someone many more years to achieve, maybe 5 to 10, but because the commitment to up leveling and the consistency, he's been able to go really far, really fast. And as a result, now just a short time out of university himself, he's able to turn around and mentor and train and teach and help other people who are now where he was a short time ago. And because that journey is fresh to him, he can connect with them in a way that other people can't. So think about that from your own perspective. Think about the journey of growth that you're on. Think about what it is that you have to offer and how that could potentially feed into your personal brand. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be known for something. And so even if you're known as someone going on a quest to find out what they're known for, well, that's okay too. You're not locked in this space. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, I'll share more about my journey another time. But look, I've literally gone like this kind of funny roundabout way to get to this place where now I'm all about content. I'm all about organic content. Like, it took me so long to whittle down all my different interests and passions and desires and earning opportunities and things that I wanted to do, to go, you know what, I really need to zero in on something. What is going to make the most sense for me, and how am I going to position myself in that space? So I understand that. And for anyone, it is not an overnight thing, as you probably already know. It is a process, but there are several benefits that will deliver to you now. I really want to just hone in on those couple of benefits that I've listed out, the short-term benefits. And when I say short-term, I'm not even talking 1-2 years. I'm talking weeks and months. All right. The short-term benefits about starting to commit to building your brand are, first of all, you will start to get visibility quickly. Okay, so every day you're not out there, you're not committing to build your brand, is another day that you are still then at the starting line and other people are getting further ahead and you're still there. Once you start, your visibility might start trickling in, but it will come. Visibility is one thing. Secondly, you get data. You'll get what I talked about before, which is information that you have to work with. And every day you collect new information, you're able to make more informed decisions. And the more data you have, the better you're going to be able to grow and actually deliver and move forward to your ultimate goal. And just as a little aside, there is this part, and especially if you're already in business and you're wanting to grow a business, like you really want to growing a brand because it's powering your business, or you want to do something online or more in that space, that's really, really important, is that around having this destination of having the end in mind before you begin. So there's kind of, it's a bit in parallel. For people who are just starting out, the whole thing is just go for it and experiment and find your voice, and eventually it will come. And then for people who have more of a concrete idea where they're going, it's more about fine-tuning the messaging and the positioning and really dialing that in to align with the business goals, which are going to be the revenue generating goals, to make sure that you're putting your efforts in the right place. So I hope that makes sense, those kind of two areas. So you've got visibility that you'll start to get straight away, and it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2 people. If you're helping 1 or 2 people, well, that's 1 or 2 people whose lives are better because you're watching them. And that 1 or 2 people will soon become 10 or 20 people. And that will soon become 100 to 200 people. And the list goes on. And ultimately, you want to be able to, you know, have a brand that helps people around whatever it is that you want to help people in. And that is the third thing that you can start to have straight away. Even if it's on a small number of people, it's on impact. And if you've got any more, drop them in the comments below and I will answer them. If you appreciated it, I put a lot of effort into it to make it good. So if you liked it and found it helpful, maybe someone else would. And I would really appreciate if you shared it so that more people would get helped by this content. That would be really awesome. It's really great to see you all. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.